Jerry Lewis, born Joseph Levitch on March 16, 1926, in Newark, New Jersey, was more than just a comedian, he was an institution. Over a career that spanned 7 decades, Lewis became a cultural icon, known for his slapstick humor, his boundless energy, and his childlike, yet deeply complex persona. His work not only shaped the landscape of American comedy but also left an indelible mark on the world of entertainment. However, behind the dazzling facade of fame and fortune lay a life marked by profound personal struggles, health challenges, and controversies that would ultimately shape his tragic end. Jerry Lewis was born into a world of entertainment. His father, Danny Levitch, was a vaudeville performer who dreamed of stardom, and his mother, Rachel Levitch, played piano at a radio station, filling young Jerry's world with music and showbiz from the very beginning. It was a life on the move, traveling from one town to the next, performing at any venue that would have them. This itinerant lifestyle would later influence Lewis's own relentless work ethic and his desire to entertain. By the age of 5, Jerry was already performing alongside his parents, captivating audiences with his natural comedic talent. His first act, the record act, where he mimed songs while playing records, was a simple yet ingenious routine that would later catapult him into the spotlight. It was clear from a young age that Jerry had inherited his parents' love for the stage, but he also possessed something more, a unique ability to connect with audiences, to make them laugh and forget their troubles, if only for a moment. The turning point in Jerry Lewis's career came in 1946 when he teamed up with singer Dean Martin. The combination of Martin's suave, laid-back style and Lewis's frenetic, zany antics created a comedic duo unlike anything audiences had ever seen. Martin and Lewis quickly became one of the most popular acts in the country, dominating radio, television, and film with their infectious chemistry and hilarious routines. Their rise to stardom was meteoric. From nightclubs to television shows, and eventually to Hollywood, Martin and Lewis became household names. Their films, such as At War with the Army, 1950, The Stooge, 1951, and The Caddy, 1953, were box office hits, beloved by audiences for their blend of slapstick humor and genuine camaraderie. Offstage, however, the relationship between Martin and Lewis was not as harmonious as it appeared. As their fame grew, so did the tensions between them, fueled by differing ambitions and personalities. Martin, the cool crooner, sought a more serious acting career, while Lewis, the workaholic perfectionist, wanted to push the boundaries of comedy and filmmaking. In 1956, after a decade of collaboration, Martin and Lewis parted ways. The split was amicable on the surface, but it left a deep emotional scar on Lewis, who considered Martin not just a partner but a brother. Their separation marked the end of an era in American entertainment, but for Jerry Lewis, it was only the beginning of his journey as a solo artist. After the breakup with Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis faced the daunting task of redefining his career. The question on everyone's mind was whether Lewis could succeed without his famous partner. He answered that question with a resounding yes. Lewis quickly established himself as a leading man in Hollywood, with films like The Delicate Delinquent, 1957, his first solo venture, proving that he was more than capable of carrying a movie on his own. Lewis's solo career was characterized by innovation and a relentless pursuit of perfection. He was not content with merely being a performer, he wanted to control every aspect of the filmmaking process. This desire led him to take on multiple roles, actor, director, writer, and producer, in many of his films. His directorial debut, The Bellboy, 1960, was a silent film in which he starred as a hapless bellboy who bumbles his way through a series of misadventures. The film was a critical and commercial success, showcasing Lewis's unique comedic style and his ability to tell a story without relying on dialogue. Perhaps the pinnacle of Lewis's solo career came with The Nutty Professor, 1963, a film that has since become a classic of American cinema. In this modern-day retelling of the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story, Lewis played the dual roles of the nerdy, socially awkward Professor Julius Kelp and his alter ego, the suave, arrogant Buddy Love. The film was a showcase for Lewis's comedic talent, his ability to create memorable characters, and his innovative use of special effects and camera techniques. The Nutty Professor remains one of Lewis's most beloved films, and it cemented his reputation as a comedic genius. While Jerry Lewis was known to the world as a comedian, he was also a tireless philanthropist. His involvement with the Muscular Dystrophy Association, MDA, began in the 1950s, and in 1966, he hosted the first MDA Labor Day telethon. The telethon became an annual tradition, with Lewis as its charismatic host, raising billions of dollars for muscular dystrophy research and support over the years. Lewis's dedication to the cause earned him the nickname the King of Comedy and Charity. His emotional appeals and heartfelt commitment to helping those in need touched millions of viewers, and the telethon became a symbol of hope for families affected by muscular dystrophy. Despite his personal flaws and the controversies that would later tarnish his image, Lewis's philanthropic work remains one of the most significant aspects of his legacy. Behind the scenes, however, Jerry Lewis's life was far from the picture of success and happiness that his public persona suggested. His personal life was marked by tumultuous relationships, health issues, and a deep-seated struggle with addiction and depression. The same intensity and perfectionism that drove his professional success also led to conflicts with those closest to him. Lewis married Patty Palmer, a singer, in 1944, and together they had 6 children. However, their marriage was troubled from the start. Lewis's workaholic tendencies and demanding nature put a strain on their relationship, leading to frequent arguments and long periods of separation. In 1980, after 36 years of marriage, Palmer filed for divorce, citing Lewis's infidelity and abusive behavior as the primary reasons for their split. One of the most significant challenges in Lewis's life was his battle with prescription drug addiction. In the 1960s, he suffered a severe back injury during a performance, which led to a dependence on painkillers. The addiction spiraled out of control, exacerbated by the pressures of his career and the emotional toll of his personal life. Lewis later admitted that his addiction had pushed him to the brink of suicide on several occasions, and he struggled with depression throughout his life. In addition to his personal struggles, Lewis faced criticism for his treatment of women, both in his professional and personal life. Several of his former colleagues accused him of being sexist, controlling, and abusive. These allegations, coupled with his often abrasive personality, led to a re-examination of his legacy in the later years of his life. While some continued to admire him for his contributions to comedy and charity, others questioned whether his behavior should overshadow his achievements. As Jerry Lewis aged, his health began to deteriorate. He suffered from a range of ailments, including heart disease, diabetes, and pulmonary fibrosis. In 1982, he underwent open-heart surgery, and in 2002, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Despite these challenges, Lewis refused to slow down, continuing to perform and make public appearances well into his 80s. However, the years took their toll. In 2006, Lewis was hospitalized after a fall that left him with a shattered pelvis. The injury required extensive surgery and a long recovery period, during which he struggled with depression and anxiety. His health continued to decline in the following years, and by 2012, he had largely retired from public life, making only occasional appearances. In the final years of his life, Jerry Lewis's public image became increasingly complicated. While he remained beloved by many for his contributions to entertainment and charity, others viewed him as a relic of a bygone era, whose behavior and attitudes were out of step with modern values. The controversies surrounding his treatment of women, his difficult personality, and his strained relationships with his children, particularly his estrangement from his eldest son, Gary, cast a shadow over his legacy. On August 20, 2017, Jerry Lewis passed away at the age of 91 in his Las Vegas home. The official cause of death was end-stage cardiac disease. His death marked the end of an era, as one of the last remaining stars from Hollywood's golden age took his final bow. The news of Lewis's passing was met with an outpouring of tributes from fans, colleagues, and the entertainment industry. Many remembered him as a comedic genius, a pioneer in filmmaking, and a tireless advocate for those in need. His influence on comedy, from his groundbreaking work in film to his live performances, was undeniable, and his philanthropic efforts left a lasting impact on countless lives. However, his death also reignited discussions about the darker aspects of his life. Some critics argued that his behavior towards women and his difficult personality should not be overlooked in the assessment of his legacy. Others pointed to his estranged relationships with his children as evidence of a troubled personal life that stood in stark contrast to his public persona.